Andy, it's after weeks like this, you're just exhausted. But we said that maybe it's just every week on Friday we're exhausted. So,
Yeah, that's where we are, Dave. Exhausted, and sometimes we're tired. We make mistakes, Dave. Can I share a little tale with you?
oh, sure, share it. The
I
floor
wanna
is yours.
I wanna I need to apologize to you, listeners, and the American people. Dave, I was sure of something this week. We've talked about our dog's problems before, and there's a persistent problem. I'd walk into my office where my dogs sleep at night, and there's a mess of pee in a corner of the room, and dealt with it. Next day, same experience. Next day, same experience. And I knew who the culprit was, Dave. And I've got two dogs, and I knew who the culprit was. And she knew that I knew who it was, and you know, we had consequences for our actions. Dave, more recently, I said, okay, this can't continue. So I've kept that dog on a leash at night, keep her away from being able to make that mistake, just to keep her in a controlled area. Yesterday, no pee, and I was like, all right, I'm validated. Today, Dave, there was pee back in that spot. But you know what? The culprit couldn't have done it because she was restrained. So, Dave, this whole time, despite my certainty, it was the other dog the entire time. The dog that I did invite into the chat is the one that was peeing all over the floor. And so, Dave, I apologize to my dogs because when we make mistakes, we have to apologize to those that we affected. So I apologize to my dogs. I apologize to you and our listeners for being so sure that I was right about something, but I was wrong. I made a mistake. And Dave, I share that because I think the right thing for our leaders to do when they fuck up, when there's piss all over the floor and they don't know what the fuck is going on, is just to stand up and own their mistake. I made a mistake, Dave. I thought the wrong dog was the culprit, and I ate crow. I think American leaders should stand up and eat crow when they fucking invite a journalist into a conversation they should never have been having on a certain platform. They should stand up and apologize to the American people and say, hey, you know what, America? I fucked up. I made a mistake. This wasn't the right way to handle it. Got caught up in the moment. It's not what the chat was for, but we used it this way and it was wrong. I made a mistake. I'm gonna hold myself to the same standards I would hold my soldiers to. Now I don't, I'm just using it as an example, no specific reference there, just picking examples out, but that's my thought, Dave. That's my thought this morning.
Well, you would be different than every person in the administration, Andy, because that clearly is not a lesson that they've learned. I'm just dumbfounded by this continuing thing. Okay, so we've seen the published chat now. And yes, there was not a specified war plan that said on X date at this time at this date this location with Andy. We know in the military there's called something called an operations order. It's a 5 paragraph order. It's pretty long at times. You start off with this with the background, you give a little of the mission, you give the operational details, you talk logistics, and then you talk like the signal. That would be constituted an official type of operational document.
Yes.
Yes, that type of document was not shared in this chat. So by the letter of the law, it was probably not a war plan. However, the details of what was shared here, and I think more compromising is like the comments within the chat of these leaders, not only about the action and the activity, which did constitute things that Hegseth said he did not say in there. He did specify weapons types, locations, targets. He did talk about those. So those were operational details. That is sensitive information in a platform that we know. Yes, it's encrypted. It's a good platform in a lot of ways, but we know it's been compromised in so many different ways, least of which by a journalist who was invited personally into the chat. But Andy, we have these things in here, and it's just dumbfounding to hear the arrogance by the administration officials, and especially Hegseth, who's just like this guy is a fuckhead. Um, to continue to deny, and it's just ridiculous. What's worse for Hegseth is all his prior comments on Fox and Friends about Hillary Clinton and
Yeah.
all these other things about they should be locked up. This is a nobody. I held a top secret clearance. I know how to protect data. And he does something stupid like this. Just fucking own up to it and be done with it. But the continuation of this continues to make it unbelievable.
No, I didn't mean to connect those lines, Dave. You're connecting dots between my peace story and the story. I didn't even mean to connect those dots. Funny how that worked out. No, Dave, you're absolutely right. Look, there's an account on Blue Sky, Secrets and Laws, claims to be a retired former CIA lawyer. Don't know if he is or isn't, but it has a great post from a couple of days ago showing the chat conversation and the CENTCOM classification
Yeah.
guide, and just saying, hey, look, like this 100% lines up with it. And like one can say, it shouldn't have been classified. There's nothing you can make
Yeah.
an argument, but the facts are the facts. Like the fact is,
Yeah.
it is classified information. Like you don't have to agree with that, but that's the reality. So you can't fucking like you can say I want to change the policy, but you can't do that on the fly in the moment just because you messed up. So just wanted to start with something positive there this morning, Dave. So,
And-
and there's circulation. I don't know if it's legitimate. I hope it's just a goof and not really. There's things circulating now after all the leaks of leaders' information. There's purportedly an account, .ru, a Russian email account being linked to Pete Hegseth. I think it's probably bullshit, but just the fact that we have to ask those questions now is just it's just really sad. It's just really sad. So anyhow, Dave, I'm sure there are more important things we're going to talk
well,
about this morning, but I'm just saying, like, if you punish the wrong dog, just own it and apologize, Dave. Just apologize to the American people. That's all we're asking. Don't come at us and reprimand journalists and the American people for asking questions when you're clearly fucking up.
you have no you have no legal standing then if you say that this is not classified information and this act in this manner is not classified, how are you going to hold us a soldier or a civilian who does this in another platform like, well, look, the Secretary of Defense, the director of the CIA, the chief of national intelligence or
Vice
director of
President of the nation.
yeah, I mean, like none of these people have been punished for this, so there's precedent, right? I mean, that you base it on legal precedent, and this causes a whole lot of upheaval. And again, it's the same thing with the Greenland thing. Like what, like oh, I'm just the second lady was just going to Greenland for to check in on the culture of Greenland, and it just like what are we doing here? Like again like if we decided to do something aggressively against Greenland, do you know what type of that puts us in a whole new category,
Whole new category of
a
aggressor.
whole new category like this, like in and I can't believe in any way, shape, or form that any of this would be a lawful order in any type of legal ground. And then we're just like Russia, and we're just like China and North Korea and Iran, and we have no moral authority anymore. Some would argue we lack that moral authority today, but it's frustrating. I mean that this is the week of the administration and it's going to continue. I mean, this is 3 months in. We're not even. I mean, we're actually 2 months into to stuff. So,
The president said that when it comes to Greenland, we will, is a quote, go as far as we have to get control of Greenland. Dave, the people of Greenland don't want to talk to us. Usha Vance's trip out there, like there's reports that like her advance party basically couldn't even find people and open their door cost effectively because that nation is so disgusted with us. They're so disgusted by the rhetoric that we're using, the threats that we're making, the unwelcome advances. I mean, Dave, this is that creepy like teacher like coming on to kids and the kids are like, this is uncomfortable. I don't want to talk to you. You're a weirdo. And the teacher is like, no, I'm gonna keep talking to these kids. I'm not doing anything wrong here. It's what I want to do. It's like this is sick and gross. Like you're a freak. Get it. Like you need help. Get help. Donald Trump is a creepy gym teacher. Like that's who he is right now. And he's invading the privacy and rights of our neighbor Greenland. And Greenland's like, no, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want anything to do with you. Like I'm perfectly happy where I am. And just the aggressor just keeps coming. It's gross.
Well, and there's even quotes from some people because they did have some journalists interview some of the people there, and it's just like, look, America used to stand for something. They used to have values that we aspired to. We used to look at them as our big brother, and now it's turning into the big bully. And I think that's again, it's all of these things like we're gonna shut the door, we're gonna put all these tariffs on you, we're gonna do all these things. And then they come back and they relent a little bit, and it's like, oh yeah, see, we're friends again. But you bullied them into that posture. Like that's not being a friend. That's a bully. I mean, it's like again, you can say what we want to say about Ukraine and all this other stuff, but the reality is we're bullying them to give us resources. I mean, who like again, establish legitimate trade agreements that are beneficial to all and not be bullying for people who are fighting for their lives and for their freedom. So I know we've gone long on this. I don't want to keep dwelling, but this is where we're at today, Andy. On
Yeah, happy Friday. Happy Friday. What else you
half
got, Dave? What else you got?
half the time. Okay, Andy, I want to do two more. I want to do lighten up the to end the week
All right. All right.
because we need it, Andy. So I want to talk about QB moves this year, Andy. The over-unders, the betting over-unders came out yesterday, so that's getting some people excited. But we had a lot of quarterback moves this offseason so far, and we still have the big one out there, Aaron Rodgers. So I want to go over these with you, and I just want you to give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Like, is it good, bad, or does it even matter?
Okay. All right.
How's that sound? Okay.
Okay. Like it.
So I found this on ESPN, so I'm just going to go down these ones and in no order, no particular order, but Jacoby Brissett, who played backup for the Commanders last year, he's been backup on a lot of respects. He's going to the Arizona Cardinals. Good, bad, or doesn't matter?
Good. Jacoby is a solid backup quarterback who can step in and start if you need him to start. If Kyler Murray's not getting it done or gets injured, they have a solid quarterback to back him up. Jacoby could have been more of a starter than he was in the league, I think. I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, very okay, very good, very good. Dobbs to the Patriots. Dobbs has been, backup for in a lot of respects. He had a good flurry for the Cardinals for a couple years ago, and he's done some good work for Cleveland. But he's going to the Patriots, backing up Derek May now.
Yeah, also good. Pretty reliable. He's not a consistently strong enough quarterback to be a starter in the league, but he can come in and play football. And again, gives you a solid backup if your number one goes down. I think again, great pick. Great pick.
Having a solid backup is extremely underrated,
Yeah,
Andy, because
yeah.
your quarterback is going to get hurt at some point. So that's good. Okay, I'm with you on that one too. Mac Jones to the Niners. Years ago, when Mac Jones was coming out, there was a lot of buzz that Kyle Shanahan wanted to draft Mac Jones. He went with, like, I can't even remember his name now, as the third overall pick, but he's on the Cowboys, and I can't even remember a name for him.
And
But Mac Jones to the Niners, Andy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I want to say, if you're playing in the NFL at any of any kind, like again, you're a great athlete, you're a good football player. So relatively speaking, Mac Jones sucks. He sucks, right? And Brock Purdy sucks. And like having Mac Jones back up Brock Purdy just tells you how little the Niners actually think of the quarterback position. Those guys are not like good quarterbacks. They've been okay on really a stacked team with great talent, with good coaching. Brock Purdy's not great, and if he goes down and Mac Jones comes in, like Mac Jones sucks too. And he might do okay because the Niners are still a pretty good team, not as good as they were, but pretty good. But like no, that's a nothing pick. Sorry, Mac Jones.
Okay.
And
All right.
you're a
He
tremendous athlete and talent. Just relatively speaking, you suck.
he played pretty bad for the Jaguars when
I
uh,
think Dave, I saw him. I saw that game live against the Lions. Like that was like bring on your Texas high school championship team, and they would look better than that Jaguars team did. Mac Jones was absolutely abysmal. It was. I thought it was hard to watch. That team sucked.
right. Andy clearly doesn't like Mac Jones. All right. Garoppolo to the Rams. Garoppolo's been hurt a lot, but server took the 49ers to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Now he's backing up Matt Stafford, who very well could be on his deathbed with one more hit.
Well, I think there's a re-signing. I think they re-signed Jimmy G. And look, he's a safe bet backup. He can come in and again play football, understands the system, can get it done. But more importantly, Dave, when you got a chance to sign the most handsome man in the NFL, you signed the most handsome man in the NFL. So I think it's a fine pick for the LA Rams. No better fit for Los Angeles than this NFL version of George Clooney. So you're a good pick, Rams. You've got Jimmy G, sexiest man in the NFL, even with his gray hair now.
Okay. Kenny Pickett to the Browns. The Browns need a quarterback because Deshaun Watson's going to be hurt for most of the year. So Kenny Pickett was once a good quarterback. Well, I don't say good, but quarterback for the Steelers, went to the Eagles, now a Super Bowl champion, and now he's going to the Browns.
Hey Dave, I want to say this. Kenny Pickett has as many Super Bowl rings as Aaron Rodgers. All right, don't sleep on Kenny Pickett.
Yeah,
Like
I hate Kenny Pickett.
he was drafted too high, right? He was drafted too high, but it was a hometown sort of thing going to the Steelers. So he shouldn't have been picked when he was, but he was. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't bad. Good backup pick for the Eagles. That's a smart move to bring him in to back up Jonah. He was a good backup. Cleveland is, I mean, like we use the term dumpster fire a lot. Cleveland is a fucking dumpster fire. Like you still don't even know what the hell they're doing, right? So, I mean, good for him. Still have a chance to compete for the starting job with whatever is happening there. But like what the hell is happening there? Like, what is Cleveland's plan to get better? They just sign people, and it just seems so haphazard and thoughtless. Like, blow up that franchise. Like they suck. So good for the Browns, I guess. I mean, you have some quarterback competition, and good luck, Kenny Pickett.
Andy,
Might be a starting
I'm
job.
just asking for up, down, or indifferent. Like I don't need the history of the Cleveland Browns.
Good pick. Good pick. Good pick.
I hate Kenny Pickett ever since he was in college, and he pulled one of those moves where he was scrambling and he faked like he was going to go down, so the defenders all held up, and then he didn't go down and ran in for a touchdown and acted like he was some big shit quarterback. He's a fuckhead. I put him in the Hegseth category. Um, okay, so we got to speed through this
He could be
last.
Hegseth's younger brother. If you look at Kenny Pickett, he could be Pete Hegseth's younger brother.
I probably could. Okay, we got to speed through these next couple, Andy. Zach Wilson to the Dolphins.
Again, come on, like irrelevant,
Yeah,
irrelevant. Yeah, yeah.
I mean he's a quarterback who can play if Tua goes down.
I
Okay,
mean, he can take a snap.
yeah.
Yeah, he sucks.
All right, Daniel Jones to the Colts.
Fine.
I think he's got a chance to be the starter. So I think this is impactful, but it's still Daniel Jones, Andy,
I mean, yeah, he's got a chance to be a star because Anthony Richardson gets injured really badly, and
and he
it's still
sucks.
questionable. Yeah, we still don't know if he's any good or not. So he might
Yeah,
be a star, but but he's not a solution. I mean, like he's just not
yeah.
a he's not anybody's solution.
Okay, get into some big ones here, Andy. Justin Fields to the Jets.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Justin Fields fan, but I don't think he had a chance to show what he was capable of. I think for Aaron Glenn and the Jets, like to get rid of Rodgers, to bring in a potentially still dynamic, good quarterback, like it's low risk, potentially high reward for a 1 year contract. So I'm down with that pick.
I mean, Justin Fields has gotten a lot of opportunities already. I still don't think they've built an offense that suits his skills, but maybe he doesn't have many skills either. So
That's possible.
that's possible. So, okay, Geno Smith to the Raiders, Andy. I like this pick. I think Geno's good, but where do you think?
Yeah, I'm down with it. I like Gino. I think he's for a team that's got also like got nothing going on. They bring in Gino. Gives him a stable guy back with his old coach Pete Carroll with DK Metcalf. Like there's potential there.
The Raiders could be sneaky good next year
Yeah.
because they weren't far off. I mean, they were in a lot of games. They just haven't had a quarterback the last couple of years, and that's really cost them. Um, so, okay. And then the last one, Andy, Sam Darnold to the Seahawks.
Well, it can't be the last one, which is an important one we didn't cover yet, Dave. But I think that's a good pick. Somebody's going to pick up Sam Darnold. I don't know that you traded up getting Darnold over Geno Smith. Like I think like you had a fine solution. Now you just got a younger solution, but I don't think there's any better. But Darnold did well. Can he do well without Kevin O'Connell? I don't know. We'll see. But I think it was a fine pick, I guess. I mean, in a world of we're not enough good quarterbacks, so it's fine.
Okay. All right. Any other ones that I mean, you've got Aaron Rodgers out there. What other ones out
I
there?
think did we say Russell Wilson, Dave? Did we cover that?
Oh shit. Yeah, I forgot about Russell
Yeah.
Wilson to the Giants. That's
Yeah,
right.
kind of the big one out there besides Aaron. I think it's a good pick. Look, the Giants also struggling. I know there's a lot of people that are not big on Russell Wilson. Look, he's not the same guy he was in Seattle when he first started out, but he's still mature and capable. You've got to put up with his like really dorky videos and sort of like the silly things he does. But he's a stable leader. I think he wanted to be in New York. I think he brings quality to that team while they try and re-identify what their future is. Now, I don't know if they need him and Jameis Winston, and potentially they're going to draft a quarterback. Could get messy quick, kind of like Pittsburgh got last year, but I think it's a good pick. I think it's a good pick. I mean, look, if your choice is Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, you sign Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I mean they should have just done better in the quarterback position. Like just period. Like Russell Wilson, he came in already. He's like, I didn't sign here not to be the quarterback. This, or it's comments like that. I think he's just got like he needs to take 3 steps back and say, look, I'm out here to try to help my team win. Instead, it still feels like he's living in 2012 Russell Wilson land, and he's not that quarterback. And I think that level of arrogance, while it's important for a quarterback to have some of that, I think really costs him because I just don't think he's really that good anymore. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay, Andy, good rundown on that. And I'm excited about the draft in a couple weeks. Not for the Cowboys for any reason, but just excited for the draft in
Hey,
general.
will someone sign Aaron Rodgers?
I think fuck, if I mean, like honestly, this is like, why is anybody even putting up with it? Does he really offer a game-changing thing? Did you see anything from Aaron Rodgers last year that made you think that like he would help the Steelers? Now, look, I mean, the Steelers have got DK Metcalf and a good receiving core, but they had Garrett Wilson with the Jets last year, and you couldn't really find him. So, like, I don't know if he's going to really bring more to the table or not. So, I don't know. I think he's bound to go to the Steelers, maybe the Vikings as a stretch. But like, do you really want all of that? The dark room shit? I don't know.
Yeah, someone's gonna say he's gonna play somewhere in the NFL next year, and he's gonna bring all of his bullshit with him, and what is it? What is it pox on that house? Like that's gonna be nothing but trouble.
100% agree. Okay, Andy, let's wrap up today on the latest of Daredevil. I did not watch Daredevil previously on Netflix. So I went in to just start fresh with the new series on Disney Plus. I only got the 4 episodes, so I didn't watch the one this week, but I'm in, Andy. This is a good show.
Yeah.
I like the show.
So you didn't see any of the old ones?
I didn't see any of the old ones.
Okay,
So
so it's very similarly done, right? Sort of the vibe of the show, the energy, the sort of dark, inner demons kind of piece is very consistent with the old one. There's a lot of that in the old one, right? Like Daredevil, Matt Murdock, sort of wrestling with his Catholicism and his, vigilante justice is a big part of the dynamic of the character. I really enjoyed the old series. I thought it was really good. I really liked the cast, especially the characters playing Matt Murdock and Kingpin. I think they're very good picks. The British actor, by the way, for Daredevil, really good. The new series, like I want to know. So coming into it raw, and I'm in the same boat you are. I haven't seen the current week's episode yet. What's your feel for the sort of energy of the show? Because it's different. It's different than a typical Marvel show, I think. How do you feel watching each episode sort of unfold and the build up of the characters and stories?
So I like it. I mean, some people have said like it's a little slow. It's taking but I kind of it allows me to get into the series. It allows me to get a little backstory. Clearly, you have two people, and in the opening episode of the new series, kind of reset a lot of things, and and that gave me appropriate backstory. Now, some people who had watched a previous series may say, "Oh, it wasn't enough. It didn't allow me more time." Like, I don't care. Like, I didn't think about it like that. I was like, "Oh, this gave me enough." I clearly those people were important to him previously. It clearly is the why he is taking a back seat to some of this vigilante stuff. I think somewhat they dip their have to. I kind of like some of the legal stuff
Yeah.
that goes on in there. So it's kind of a legal show as well as a action show. But at the end of the fourth episode, clearly there was a decisive moment, and now things are going to change for the rest of the season. So it's going to get more action packed, but there was still a lot of action in the first part. I like how they pulled in some of the other characters into this world. So for me, it's meeting the mark for me. It's giving me what I wanted. I think it's been paced okay. I definitely haven't complained. I'm looking forward to seeing the next episode. So
Yeah, I like to hear that, Dave. So, like, it is, and this has been the case. It is I think, somewhat slow, like deliberate series. And so, like, part of me is like, just come on, put the costume on, get out,
yeah,
kick an
yeah,
ass, right? You
right.
see him get out there and fight and rumble, but they like to just build up in sort of storyline progression, character progression, and like it's about Matt Murdock as much as it is the Daredevil. And it's about Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, as much as it is the Daredevil. And that's sort of the story of Daredevil. It was, look, I was a big fan of the comics. I like this show. I enjoy the fact that he's been on the big screen. Though I despise Ben Affleck, and him having played Daredevil still sort of makes me vomit in my own mouth a little bit. But he's a great character, and I'm enjoying this series. I want to see where it goes. Like we need to, like, now that we've got this story, like we do need to step on the gas a little bit. I think we need to like pick up and get a little bit more into the action part of the series, and I'm guessing that's coming. I think that's coming, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think if somebody's not familiar with the character, it is a good character and a good show, I think, to check out and watch if you like superhero action. And it's done, I think, as a good show that happens to be about a superhero,
Yeah.
but it's more than that, right? It's not just, boom, pow, kapow, Batman. It's a fun, deliberate, thoughtful show.
Well, and I think that's what makes a better show than just all action all the time, where you don't really develop characters and give them any storylines. And again, some people may say, like, look, they're not developing this hatred or this regret or whatever, this emotion too much. I think it's been appropriate. Like for me, I was not a Daredevil person. I didn't particularly care for the movie. I didn't care for any of that world. Again, I didn't watch the previous thing, but this has been good for me. Like I've actually enjoyed it. So I have some questions, but I'm not like geeking out on all of it like some of the people do. In other news too, Andy, I mean, they just announced, I think Matt Murdock is going to be in the Doomsday Avengers Doomsday, because they announced the rollout of some of the characters who are going to be in there. A lot of stables that we know and love. A lot of new ones coming up, including Fantastic Four. There's going to be some old X-Men coming in. I think Kelsey Grammer will be coming in as Beast, and old Cyclops coming in. So there's going to be like this Doomsday one is going to take off, and I think Matt Murdock will be in that piece as well. So it's going to be. I think maybe we're going to see a little bit of a rebirth here as Marvel pulls back a little bit, and makes better stuff as opposed to just making just pointless shit over and over. So,
Yeah, I think so too. I think people like this actor and characters. I think we're going to see him stick around, and he's always been sort of just on the edge of the Avengers universe, just on the edge of the Spider-Man storyline, sometimes jumping in, but or doing his own thing, right? Taking care of his part of New York, dealing with Hell's Kitchen and the crime. And it's always been focused a little bit more on, the gangs and the problems in the streets. And it's fun, but I think they're going to continue to use him, either as Matt Murdock, a lawyer, and or as Daredevil, vigilante. So yeah, I think it's
yeah.
good moves on Marvel's part.
Yeah. Okay, Andy, I just want to wrap up the week on one thing. Where you stand on in a kind of a little bit of a mix of Indiana Jones and X-Files. There's a story out this week that uh, a document that was declassified in 2000.
Yeah, older story.
Yeah, an old thing about a remote viewing. This is where somebody is sitting in a room. Obviously, there's a lot of things around it, but they go to an extrasensory place and they had an individual identify what they believed to be the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
And then they had a second person confirm it. Again, they didn't actually find anything, but this is allegedly through this remote viewing piece. It's a cool story. It's in the New York Post. I found it fascinating to hear, but it also made me think, like, did this guy just have whimsical fantasies about the actual Raiders of the Lost Ark? Because it
Yeah.
sounded very similar to what how Indiana Jones found Raiders of the Lost Ark. But thoughts when you saw that, Andy, this week?
I mean, it's always fascinating to me, Dave, when you see stories of like this, right? Or somebody thinks they found the Noah's Ark, right? Or
Yeah,
it's just it's fun because like imagine if they do, right?
yeah,
Like imagine if it's like a wild thought, like to find the Ark of the Covenant is crazy, right? So the fact that somebody thinks they saw it, but I think the timing of it really was right around Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was so similar when this was first done. It's sort of the story started picked back up, but this isn't a new story, and it's like no, they didn't find it, and like nothing's happened since then. But fascinating and sort of fun to think about, and sort of like but what if, right? What if, and what if they do open it up and everybody starts to melt and everything else, So
yeah.
I think anytime you get into sort of like faith and spirituality and these things, you can sort of like maybe prove something of like massive historical significance. It's pretty exciting to talk about, but typically it ends up being a nothing.
Yeah, look, I mean, say what you want about the Christian religion or religion in general. I mean, the Bible has been proven to be very historical in a lot of respects. It captures a lot of written history from very, very early in civilization. And so when you see these type of things, it kind of reminds you of that Indiana Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of my favorite movies of all time. If it's on, I'll watch it no matter what. And so to just kind of have this, it's like, yeah, it's kind of a cool story that pulls out for you. So, um,
It's a fun story. It was fun to see it. I wasn't familiar with this before, so when I saw it pop, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. So appreciate that, Andy. So, all right, Andy, with that, we're gonna wrap up the week. I think we wrapped up on a good note considering how fucked up this week was, but a good note today, Andy. So that was good.
Yeah, we're talking football and Daredevil, like we're doing good. And Dave, just a reminder to everybody, like we all make mistakes. We all fuck up. When we do, just own it. Like
Just own it, Andy. Just own it.
just
So,
own it. Just don't berate the audience. Like you fucked up. It's okay. Like it's not okay at all. But own it anyway. Own it anyway.
if everyone could only learn the lessons that Andy Jabor learned this week, I think we'd be in a lot better place. So. All right. We will catch up with you then next time, Andy, on Monday. Hopefully, have a good weekend, man.